I hated being gay. I didn't want it. Your mom says it's disgusting.
Did you go on dates with some cute guys or something?
My face went red and I started sweating. So, long story short, he found my porn stash.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hi guys, I'm Tommy.
And I'm Peter. Welcome back to our channel.
Today it's finally time to share my coming out story. We've already shared Peter's coming out story some time ago. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. We will link it in the description below. But enough about Peter, because today is about me.
Yes, I'm here just as a secondary character. So today it's all about Tommy.
Yeah. So let's get started. I think it was obvious for other people that I was gay even when I was a kid, because I liked playing with dolls and I wanted to be friends with girls rather than boys. So it must have been obvious for a lot of people except for me, because at that age I didn't even know what homosexuality was. It was in the 90s and there was no sex education for us. We didn't receive any information from our parents at that time, so I had no idea about these things. So I was growing up in the environment where boys like girls, and that's just the way it is, so I assumed it was the same for me. Even as a teenager, I still had a crush on a girl.
Really?
Yeah. It was at the grammar school. It was one of my classmates, but it wasn't sexual. It was still before puberty, so it was just like romantic. I thought she was a nice girl, I guess. But then puberty hit and my whole world changed. I realized I was gay when I was about 15, so definitely sooner than Peter.
How did you realize it?
Yeah, I think for you it was a gradual process, right? But in my case, it just suddenly happened. I don't remember it somehow changing. I don't know, I opened my eyes one day and I just knew.
Like, oh my god, I'm gay?
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
So cute.
Yeah. And I had no problem accepting it. I didn't go through any self-denial phase that I would try to make myself believe that I'm straight. I knew and I understood. But that doesn't mean that I was okay with it. I hated it. I hated being gay. I didn't want it. I wanted to be straight because I was very shy and I always went with the flow. I didn't want to stick out. And this made me very different.
Yeah.
Compared to other people. So I wanted to be straight so that people wouldn't notice me, or I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because for you it's really important not to draw attention.
Yeah.
And this definitely draws attention to you.
Exactly. Or at least I felt that way at the time.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be gay, but I knew I was gay. And I wasn't planning to do anything about it. I didn't try to change or anything like that.
Yeah, of course. There is nothing to do about it.
Yeah. So because I was so shy and I didn't want to stick out, I decided I'm not gonna tell anyone about it. So I kept it a secret for at least 2 years. And when I was 17, I told first person, but it was only online on the internet at the time. We actually got internet at home. It was a new thing, and immediately I wanted to talk to other people who are like me. Not just gay, but just to find people with same interests. And I used ICQ. It's an instant messenger similar to MSN or AOL. But I immediately started searching for people like male, hobbies, Spice Girls.
Spice Girls, of course.
Yeah. Age similar to mine. And I found this guy who I started talking to. And actually on the first day we started talking, he told me, I hope you don't mind, but I'm gay. And I was like, yay!
Oh my god, yes! I'm too? Did you say it?
Yeah, I started my face went red and I started sweating and my heart started pounding. And I wrote him back, yeah, me too.
Wow. So that must have been big, because that was the first person.
Yeah.
First time you put it out there in the world.
Exactly. I mean, I knew he was gay because he just told me, so I knew he wouldn't hate me for it. But it was it still felt like a big step for me because it was the first time I said it or typed it on the computer. And about 1 year later, when I was 18, I told first person in real life. It was a friend who was about 4 years younger than me, so he was only 14. And it was at a spa retreat. You know what? Because I had this accident and I went to spa to treat it. And he was there with me, so he was my co-patient. And I told him when the lights went off and it was dark in our room, so he was in his bed, I was in mine. And I don't know how it came to it, but I decided to finally tell him that I'm gay. And he started laughing because he thought I was joking.
Oh.
That actually happened to me a few times. Like sometimes I told people I was gay and they started laughing because they thought it was a joke. They didn't. I guess it wasn't that obvious. I thought it was obvious that everybody assumed, but no, he didn't. So that was the first time, and it went well. It didn't change anything. Like maybe one day, he acted a little bit weird, but then he got over it, and it was fine.
And how did you feel when you told people? For example, the first time on the internet, was it a big relief?
Yeah, definitely a relief that finally somebody knows and I don't have to hide anything. Because at the time I wasn't comfortable telling people in general, and I would lie about it. So if somebody asked me if I'm gay, I would say no. So this was like the first time in several years that I could be honest with someone.
And did you talk about boys and stuff like that, or no?
I guess so, because I don't have a problem talking about anything. As long as I know that the other person can handle it, I can really talk about anything you want. But even though it went well with my friend, I wasn't planning at the time to tell my family. I just felt that it wasn't their business to know that it's my thing.
Just family, it's not their business.
Yeah. And I knew that they wouldn't handle it that well because, I mean, you are growing up with your parents and you're watching TV, there are two guys kissing on the TV and your mom says it's disgusting, your father says that he would shoot them all. So, you know, I wasn't planning to be one of those.
Yeah.
I don't want to defend them, but they grew up in communism when it was a taboo. And things changed in our country quite quickly in the 90s. I mean, our country is quite liberal now about homosexuality, which we're very happy about. But they still grew up in those times when it was forbidden.
Maybe not forbidden, but people just pretended it didn't exist.
Yeah. But yeah, that doesn't mean that you can shoot gays.
Yeah.
So I knew I wasn't going to tell them while I was still living with them under one roof. Because I was afraid that it wouldn't be pleasant cohabitation anymore. Not that it was before, but it would get worse. So when I was 19, I moved out from my hometown and I moved to Brno. I moved for my studies, for university, but I couldn't wait to leave my hometown. I remember that already when I was 14, I started looking forward to moving away.
But not because of the gay thing, but just in general.
Yeah, because I never had my privacy and I'm a private person and I didn't get along with my father that well. So yeah, I wanted to be alone. And I think the move helped me a lot because I lived in a small town with narrow-minded people, and then I moved to a city with more open-minded people, and that helped me open up to other people as well. So while I was in Brno, I started being more comfortable with being gay, finally, after 4 years.
What does it mean to be more comfortable being gay?
That I wasn't ashamed for it anymore. That I was okay with being gay and I stopped wishing that I was straight.
Okay. Did you go on dates with some cute guys or something?
I did actually, yeah. maybe already a couple of months after I moved to Brno, and I visited my first gay club or gay bar.
And how was it?
I don't know. There was good music, but everybody kept staring. It's fresh meat. Oh. I wasn't comfortable there. Too many people, and yeah, I felt like everybody's just staring at each other.
So it wasn't for you.
No. But little did I know that my brother Roman found out I was gay while we were still living together.
And he didn't say anything?
No. Because we lived in a small apartment and we shared a room together. And that included sharing a computer. So, long story short, he found my porn stash.
Great! So that must have been very interesting for him to find a porn stash, gay porn. So, was he in shock?
I don't know, we should ask him.
Okay, we should do that. Hi.
Hey.
Hey guys, how are you?
So we have a few questions for you. Are you ready?
Sure.
So do you remember how you found out that I'm gay?
The first indication was we shared our computer and internet, and all of a sudden I saw some romantic, things that revealed the truth.
By romantic you mean porn, right?
Yes, I mean porn, of course. And so yeah, that was the first time I don't remember if I ever thought about you, if you're gay or not. I don't really, it's been a long time now. But the porn kind of confirmed what probably I was subconsciously knowing. and yeah, the first moment I was like, this is terrible, this is the worst the worst moment of my life, it would be about me or something, and I couldn't believe it, but eventually I did, obviously. And so that was the first moment of finding out. And then I remember I told our mom when we were walking our dog, and she didn't believe me either. She was like, that's not truth, that's not truth.
The porn is someone else's.
Probably.
It's for a friend.
Maybe she was hoping it's not truth, because growing up in small town, once you're different at least a little bit in anything, you're just you don't belong into the society, and obviously when you're a parent, you don't want your kid to be a minority, because I think the worst thing about it at first moment is that you're scared of being judged by other people, my son is gay, what will other people think about us, that's terrible. Then maybe when you're a parent, then you're thinking oh, he's gonna have it so much harder in his life and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe for these reasons our mom didn't believe really, or didn't want to believe for a couple more years until it was more clear and she accepted it more. But yeah,
wait, Roman. So it was quite a shock for you, and you didn't want to tell Tommy that but you told your mom.
That's true. I was scared. I don't know why I didn't. It was just I didn't want to confront him, because I know it would be weird for both of us, because I know now I understand how hard it must have been for him to be gay, to feel that way, to feel like you don't belong at all, because the truth is he was always, or I mean, I'm talking to you, so you were always little different, or a lot different from normal kids, and I was the normal kid, did you see it? Normal kid? And and so I don't know what I was thinking, why I didn't tell you, why I didn't ask you. First time we talked about it was through the old kind of messenger. It was called ICU, and you were already in Brno in college, and I told you that I know and I would like to talk about it and stuff, because I kind of felt like it would be nice to break the ice. And we talked about it through the messenger. It wasn't face to face, but still it was really nice. It kind of it was nice relief. But I think it was like 2 or 3 years after that, because when I found out first time, I was like 14, I think. And Tommy, you went to college like, you were like 19. So maybe 3 years after that, we talked about it. So for 3 years I knew, and we lived together, we shared the same room and stuff. And like there was kind of like the skeleton in the closet between us. And yeah, I don't really remember why I didn't. Maybe I just wasn't brave enough. I wasn't strong enough to tell you like, hey bro, let's be bros again. And you know, it's hard, like being teenager, and you're like insecure about everything, and it was just hard times for both of us, I think. Yeah.
Do you remember meeting Peter for the first time?
Remind me. I'm not sure. It must have been in Brno, right?
Yeah, it was. I think it was after Christmas that you were bringing me some stuff to Brno from our hometown. And when you came to my apartment, we were standing in the street outside, and I told you, by the way, my boyfriend's inside. And that's the first time you heard about him.
Oh really? Oh, I wish I remembered and I expressed how shocked I was or something, but I don't really remember that much.
I remember it. You brought some small furniture into the room, so you entered the room. I was sitting at the computer, and you said hi. I said hi, and that was it for 5 seconds.
And
That was it? Oh, okay. I think I just left right away, right? I remember it was some kind of like this size of furniture for clothes or something, right? Yeah, I remember parking on the street. I remember carrying it or something. I remember saying hi actually now when you reminded me. It wasn't that awkward. It was like total. It was totally fine. Was it awkward for you, Peter?
No, it wasn't awkward. It was
nice actually. It was nice.
Kinda exciting for me that I could see part of Tommy's family, even just for 1 second.
And now I'm realizing I kind of felt good about meeting you too, because I kind of felt that it was like another step towards like acceptance and maybe Tommy feeling better about our relationship as well, you know. So it was I kind of felt it was really nice. Yeah. It was like, oh, like I'm so good. I showed more love to my brother, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It was it was nice. I remember.
And then at some point you told Mom about Peter. Because that also came from you. I didn't tell her myself that he exists.
That was actually also the reason why I wanted to talk to you over the ICQ and like how I said it, break the ice, because then I felt like I was kind of like a messenger for my family, you know, or at least for our mom first, because I felt like she wants to know that you're like happy and stuff, you're like having a good life, and she still wasn't confident enough to talk to you. So I was glad that I could tell her some dirt, pick up some dirt from your life, you know, some drama and stuff.
And you said that I'm great, right?
Sure, I said I met
Best
this
boyfriend
guy.
ever.
Yeah. They will live happily ever after, I told her.
But I'm happy that the way it turned out. I'm glad that you told everyone because I didn't have to.
Yeah,
you know, it's easier when you're not there and you don't see the reaction, and you give them time to process it. Yeah, to process it, and then you can talk to them later without emotions. Okay, so thanks for all the juicy information for our viewers.
Sure. I'm sure I would have more on my mind, but not right now. But if I have something more, we can make another episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Part 2.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, no worries. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so my mom found out from my brother. And later on, Roman also told her about Peter.
So I'm finally becoming more important in this story.
Yay! Finally, it can be about you now. So Roman told me basically that he told Mom and that she's aware. And so when she invited me over to her place in 2010, so it was about 1.5 years maybe after we started dating, I simply asked her, should I bring Peter with me?
Like nothing happened.
Yeah. I like to announce things like that, unexpectedly. Yeah, and she agreed that Peter should come as well. And that's when you guys met for the first time.
Yeah, and I was totally stressed out because, first time meeting your boyfriend's parent, it's not a relaxing thing to do. So, yeah, I was stressed.
Yeah. But it went well.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we went for a walk with
Mhm.
Mom and her dog. And we never talked about the gay thing, because that's not how we do it in our family. So Peter just was suddenly there with me, and that was it.
Yeah, so I was Tommy's boyfriend and Tommy was gay, and that was the new reality for her.
Yeah. My mom didn't have any issues accepting it, because she's like me, or I'm like her. So no emotions, she just accepted it as a fact
Mm-hmm.
and moved on.
Like, okay.
But it was a different story with my father. It actually, several years went by
Mm-hmm.
without me telling him, because I knew that he wouldn't be very thrilled about it.
But you visited him quite often.
Yeah, by quite often, if you mean twice a year, then yes.
That's quite often.
But we never talked about anything. At the beginning, when I moved to Brno, he used to ask me if I have a girlfriend here,
Mm-hmm.
but over time he stopped asking. And I knew he suspected me being gay.
Mhm.
That's why he stopped asking about girlfriends. But he never asked directly, and he was afraid that I was gay.
Yeah, same with my grandma.
Uh-huh.
Like, she knew or she suspected but didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
So when did you tell him? Or how did it happen?
It was at Christmas 2013, so about 3 or 4 years after Mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Roman was there as well. As I told you, I like announcing things unexpectedly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like tearing off a band-aid. Quick and painful.
Tommy's style.
Yeah. I remember my dad's girlfriend asked me where I was for Christmas Eve, if I was at my mom's, and I said no, I was at my boyfriend's parents.
Yeah, I remember. I was there. I remember that. Finally, that was like the typical Tommy move, like the shocking. Didn't you know?
He totally enjoys these moves.
Yeah, for sure. He likes to surprise.
And what was the reaction of everyone?
Her jaw dropped. And my father said nothing. Like no facial expression, like he didn't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But then he went for a smoke break, and he took Roman with him. And then Roman told me later that he told him, well, so it's true. As I was afraid. But he didn't mention anything at all after that.
Mhm.
Like we didn't talk about it at all, no questions.
No
nothing.
argument or
No,
anything.
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was leaving the visit, he actually told me that he loves me. And I laughed, because it was unexpected. He never told me that before.
Oh my god, it must have been so hard for him to tell you that he loves you.
Well, he was drunk, so that made it easier.
Okay, but still, you laugh.
Yeah. But the story with my dad wasn't over, because even though he knew I was gay, he had no interest in meeting Peter.
Mm-hmm.
So after I told him, still several years passed by, and you and him never met.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there was no interest from me either, because I could see that there is no interest from his side, so
And I told
why?
him what he's like.
Yeah.
So we didn't try to get invited. I still visited him every now and then on my own. And his girlfriend actually told me that she was trying to get you invited, but he was refusing. He basically said that no, he will never come here.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't mind, because it wasn't that important for me.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been more stress.
And we were never really the family types, so we don't visit our parents that often that it would create some division or something.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2018, out of nowhere, we were invited to a wedding of my father's girlfriend's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
and we knew that he would be there.
Yeah. And I said, yes, we are going. Like immediately I decided. Do you remember?
Yeah, you said screw everything, we
Yeah.
are going no matter what.
Yeah, like with pride, this is us. You are not going alone under any circumstances.
Yes.
Because I wanted to show our love to the whole world.
Oh.
Yeah, but that was half a year in advance. So there was no stress for me then. But then, as the date was approaching, it started to be less comfortable for me. Yeah,
And you started thinking of ways how to back out.
yeah. Not really back out, but I started worrying, like how it would be and everything.
But we went, and you met?
Yeah, and it was okay, no problems. His girlfriend was very nice, so we talked, and we talked with your dad as well.
Yeah.
So no drama.
He's only dramatic behind your back, but not face to face.
Yeah, so it was okay for me.
And you were even on first name basis with him.
Yeah, right after first day. So that was nice.
So it went better than we thought.
Yeah, totally. And how was it with people outside your family? For example, at work and stuff like that.
At work, I was never trying to hide it,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it's not like I announce to people that I'm gay. So if there's a chance, like, if they ask me about my personal life, then they find out from the conversation. But like random people with whom I talk only about work, they probably don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember first year we started dating. We went on this trip with whole group from your work, and we didn't have to hide or anything.
Yeah, so they knew about you from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Those who mattered.
yeah.
So I guess I was lucky. There was no drama, and nobody wanted to kick me out or kill me or anything like that. They somehow accepted it, even though they were not maybe very happy about it at the beginning. And now we talk to everyone. We are on first name basis with my father as well as with my mom. You even met my grandma. She loves you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. It never is like in the movies, like I love you no matter what, right after you tell them. But somehow with both of us it's okay.
Yeah. I can't really complain at the moment.
Me neither.
So to summarize, I'm gay, Peter's gay, and we are gay together.
Oh, we recommend being gay together. It's really great.
If you haven't seen Peter's coming out story, go check it out. It's a dramatic one.
Yeah, go watch it right after this video because it's emotional.
Yeah.
There's more drama.
And we'll see you guys next time in another video.
Bye.
Bye!